Our fiberglass ceiling tile plant in Hilliard, Ohio had a strong working relationship with a critical vendor who supplied fiberglass board stock to the Hilliard plant so that they could fabricate and finish and package it. Now, for a time, we were getting some pretty significant quality issues with this board stock. And because the partnership was so strong, we decided to have a co-sponsored Kaizen event with equal amounts of participants from our Hilliard ceiling tile plant and their vendor. Now, on the first day, we met at Hilliard and we took a Gemba walk through our plant to show those issues that we were dealing with and that was causing significant scrap and downtime in the plant. The vendor team wrote a lot of notes and seemed to understand the criticality of the issues we were dealing with and even had some ideas how they could improve it. Now, based upon their ideas, we decided to take a Gemba walk at their plant on the second day. And as we walked through their process, we noticed a huge focus on safety. And we were taking notes on some of their really interesting safety ideas that were helping their associates. One idea, as an example, was that every stairwell at the bottom step was painted red. Now, every other stair was not painted that way, but that red step would signify to anybody walking down those stairs that the next step would be the floor. And it did create a special awareness that we realized was very beneficial. But then we saw something that kind of defied their safety perspective. Coming out of the board forming unit, there was a saw that cut the boards to tile size for this Hilliard plant, 4 foot by 8 foot. And then where there should have been a stacker to allow the boards to hit and then stack evenly onto a pallet, there was an operator. And what was happening was the boards were coming from the saw, bouncing off the chest of the person and stacking onto a pallet. Now, I had to believe that this was a temporary situation, that something was broken. But when I asked a little bit more about it, we found out that in the past they had tried to automate this process and make it mechanical, but they never figured it out. So this was actually a typical job. Somebody had to have these 4 foot by 8 foot fiberglass boards bouncing off their chest the entire day. So I have to tell you that this was shocking to me, but I couldn't. I had to be a little careful to say something in their own facility. It's like going into somebody's home and telling them that their baby's ugly. But it really was. So I'm hoping in the many years since I was there that it isn't that way any longer. But whether it is or if it isn't, if I'm ever having a bad day and I think, boy, I wish I had a better job, I think back to that poor worker that was the backstop and realize that no matter how bad a day I might be having, they're having a much worse day. And there's got to be a way to help people like that. I hope this story provided you with some inspiration to revisit your own processes. I have a lot more I'd like to share. Head over to pi-partners.com to learn how I can help. And check back from time to time for more Kaizen stories.